let's just start with that. Just the overall importance for people who have gotten sucked into city life of removing oneself and reminding oneself what it's like to be under a big sky.
Well, to answer that, first I want to point out that I do live in Montana now, and I'd spent quite a bit of time here. But my kids were born through circumstances of work and relationships. My kids were born in New York.
Saw
My
that.
two older kids were born in New York. So I have some familiarity with that, and that actually plays a big part in some of the writing I've done about getting kids involved in the outdoors, is that unique set of challenges in an urban environment. But I was raised very much hunting, fishing, trapping. We were in the outdoors all the time. And I think I tried to explain, and people have a hard time understanding where this would come from, is it was so important to our lives when I was a kid that I would get an honest to God, like I would get a guilty conscience if I wasn't spending enough time outside. It was sort of like pushed forward as that level of importance. I equate it to how someone might feel bad about missing church. It was that I would feel bad to not be outside. It was just regarded as so important in our lives.
That's good.
So when I had kids, I had a lot of, I don't want to say anxiety because it wasn't necessarily negative. I just had a very, I put a really high priority on getting my kids engaged with nature. And I think that the difficulty of the environment we were in for a few years really added to that, because it wasn't easy and I had to make it happen.
Of course. I mean, I think we all went through that recently, but the way we grew up, because I think I read you were born in 74.
Yep.
So you grew up in the 70s and 80s like I did. What did your parents say to you every time you went to them and said, "What can I do? Mom, what can I do?" The answer was always the same: play outside. Go play outside. And,
Yep.
I was raised in Syracuse, New York for the first 10 years, which is like 9 months out of the year, there's 3 feet of snow outside. But still, it was like, get out there. Today, it's very different. It is like, they don't even ask, what can I do? They go right to the device. You have to interject yourself into that relationship to say, get off of that thing and go play outside. So I think it's a bigger challenge for people in the city because you can't, like in New York, just say, go play outside. That's not going to happen for a 6-year-old in Manhattan. Like, good luck, have fun. But if you live in the suburbs, you maybe you have a basketball court, or maybe you have a lawn or a swing set. It makes life easier. But that connection with the great outdoors actually it's the opposite of depressing. It's uplifting. I think it's good for your mental wellness, good for your physical wellness. And if you go long enough without having it, even if you're not an outdoorsy person, bad things start to happen.
Oh, I think there's huge detriments to it. And I just want to touch on a handful of the things you said there. When I was little, you're right. It was always go outside. In fact, if we got caught inside, you were probably going to get a chore list, because it was just, if they caught you watching TV or something, my mom or dad was going to write down on a legal pad chores for you to do. If I was outside, it was just regarded as I was up to something constructive, and I would find freedom and be left alone.
That's brilliant.
In the city, it's different. You're right. And that's one of the things that nagged at me, is I had to be a real driver to make it happen. And you have to be an escort and accompany your kids at times. One of the things, though, that I picked up from my parents, before I say this, I'll point out that I find so many people my age who who have sort of wholeheartedly rejected a lot of lessons that they might have learned from their own parents. I threw out parts and I kept parts. And one of the parts I kept is my parents were not afraid to exercise their role as authoritarians in the family. Meaning, I don't put everything to my kids as a question, or I don't put everything to them as doing me a favor. I will just explicitly say that this is what we're going to do. We're going outside. The reason I can get away with this is they always feel better when we do. So if I'm overcoming some amount of resistance or inertia from them, that hey, we're going to go camping this weekend, and they had other plans or were hoping to go hang out at their friend's house, where maybe there's more ready, available access to screens. And I just say that this is what we're doing. Me and mommy have made up our minds. We're all going camping. I know that we're going to come home and they're going to feel better than they would have otherwise. They're going to be exhausted at the end of the day. They're going to sleep great. They're going to feel invigorated. They're going to be in a good mood. So I don't mind laying down the law about how we're going to spend time, because I know in the end, they are at times quite literally going to thank us for having made the plans that we made.
Can I ask you, as somebody who doesn't do a lot of camping, though, it's always been a life goal to actually do more. We used to go to, my microphone fell here. Okay. We used to go to Selkirk, we called it. It was Lake Ontario in New York State when I was growing up. And we would go to this little cabin, and we would stay in this cabin, which you probably don't consider camping, but we considered camping. For 2 weeks a year we'd go. And ever since, I've wanted to get back to something like that. But I don't, like, what do you do? If you go camping with your family for a weekend, what do you guys do during the day? Walk me through a typical day.
Oh, well, again, there's a couple things to say here. When we first had kids, we would tent camp, but it got too hard. We have 3 young kids. We caved and did something I thought I would never do. And we bought a camper trailer. And that has just changed everything. It makes it so easy to go. Everything's loaded up and ready to go. We spend so much more time out than we would otherwise. So that was a compromise. We're really we like to do a lot of exploring. We do a lot of fishing. In the fall months, we hunt a lot. So this time of year, we fish, we look for mushrooms, we hang out, we shoot 22s. Just whatever, we play games. We play a lot of Scrabble and bananagrams, whatever. We just get away. And the place we like to go, there's no cell service. So I'll use a Garmin InReach in case there's an emergency. But we like it because there's 0 cell service where we go. Another thing we did, and this is a luxury that not everyone can afford, but some years ago, we purchased a small in-holding in the mountains, an in-holding in the National Forest. And that's kind of our hangout spot.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
Literally is a shack in Alaska on the coast in Southeast Alaska that I bought many years ago. And so we hang out there. And again, no cell service. It's just quiet. But if we didn't have those places, and sometimes we go other places, we just make plans. And they're usually centered around, for us, looking for berries, looking for mushrooms, fishing, hunting, playing, sitting in hammocks, making s'mores. We do a wide variety of things. It's just very close time. It's very tight-knit family time. And we're not always going to have this.
Yeah.
Our oldest kid's 13. Like, this is going to change soon, but I like to maximize it now.
September marks the end of summer and the beginning of a hectic time for a lot of people, but a great time. Love the fall. It can become difficult to schedule in your fitness goals and also hard to relax after a long, busy, packed day. Consider a Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas. These things offer time-saving convenience to work out in your own backyard, and also the relaxing therapy of a hot tub to take it easy afterward. Here's how it works. A Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas has a water current so you can swim in place and do your favorite aquatic exercises. The water buoyancy relieves pressure on aching joints, and you can enjoy pure relaxation in the massage therapy seats. Michael Phelps swim spas come in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Installation can take less than a day. And since it's heated, you can use it year-round in any climate, at the beginning of the fall and all the way through the winter. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. Go to masterspas.com. Listen to this. This is big. The month of September is Master Spas' global sales event. I have never seen a promo this good. I kid you not. This is real. If you put in the promo code MK, you will save $2,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa. Unbelievable. And if you put in that promo code MK, you will save $1,000 on a Master Spas hot tub. That's a lot of dough to save on a great, great product. Masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.